Hello and welcome to the show. You know, this modern day workforce is full of bold, sharp, and really talented young people who are prepared to play by their own rules. These new employees aren't staying at jobs that no longer serve their career goals. My first guest today suggests that all women, particularly Black women, should follow in their footsteps. I know that's raising some eyebrows already. Krishna Powell is the CEO of HR for Your Small Biz, and she's also a seasoned HR professional with more than 30 years of experience. She says it's time for Black women to burn the superwoman cape, stop going above and beyond at work all the time. A notion that really kind of goes against what our parents told us about always being the best, right? Please welcome Krishna Powell to the show. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here. I want to dive right in because you know, and I know, and they all know that our parents, our grandparents said, you got to be the best, you got to be the brightest, you got to be the earliest, you got to stay the latest, all of those things to stand out and compete just to get the job and then keep it.
Exactly.
You say that has shifted. How so?
It has. So my question a lot of times to leaders is, where has that gotten us? Because they saw someone such as myself say, thank you for 20 years of service. Here's your severance. We no longer need you.
That was your experience personally.
Yes.
And that hurt.
Exactly. And leaders are going through that now, and they're thinking, I've given my all. I've given you my very best, especially Black women. And then to be told it's not enough. Oftentimes, they will still choose someone less qualified than you. Just for the sake of keeping an image, keeping you in a box and wanting you to only achieve a certain level.
So from a workforce standpoint, what does that look like for you and the lessons that you have learned that you now share with others, right? You get so far, you've done all the things you said you were supposed to do. What do you tell women who have gotten we thank you for your time and commitment, but we're going in a different direction now. Not because you did anything wrong, but because we're changing the model.
So I tell leaders, go in, and women in particular, do your best, but don't give them your best. And so what that means is that work with what they've given you, but don't try to turn water into wine and think that because we do that, that means we're going to come out on top, because we're not.
So I know there's going to be somebody who's listening and says, are you saying don't do your very level best? Because it sounds like that is kind of what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, if they give you and say, here is what I want you to work with, that's what you work with.
So then how do you stand out if everybody is working with all the same, especially in jobs where the task is essentially the same for a bunch of different people? How do you stand out if you're not sort of putting your own shine on it?
Quality. So you deliver it back to them, a quality package, a quality service, but at the same time, you know, that staying late, coming in early, sacrificing your family, your health, to put the bow on everything and hope that when they open the package, they go, wow, you're fantastic. They're not doing that. And when you look at the generations and what's going on in the workplace, mental health is suffering. People are physically suffering. Why? Because you've given so much of yourself that you have even forgotten to take care of yourself. So do that first and foremost before you go ahead and put the bow on for everybody else.
So for women particularly who are trying to move up the corporate ladder, let's say, and really in any industry, but that corporate ladder, those women trying to make it to the C-suite, what does that look like when so much of what we have to do professionally does come with a sacrifice personally?
So if you want to make that sacrifice, I'm not saying you cannot make that sacrifice or don't make it. Just know the cost. Are you really willing to pay the cost in regards to your health, your mental well-being, as well as understand the fact that if there is a choice between the numbers and your position, it will always be your position. If you walk into it if you walk into it understanding that, then go for it. But don't be surprised and upset and disappointed when you find that your position is no longer needed.
So then again, I want to sort of drill down though on women who may be in their 30s, in their 40s, because as we see with this generation, they're like, okay, we watch the aunties and the uncles, do this whole stay for 20 some years, and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. What do you say to those who say, I'm not going to take that traditional path? How do you then stand out if you're going to open your own business or work in a contracted position? How is that looking?
So the way it looks is, again, you do the job, you do it to the best of your ability. You think about the sacrifices that you're willing to make, and if it is fine with you, you go ahead and do them. But what it looks like you doing is, yeah, it's okay to stay late. It's okay to come in early, but do you have to do it all the time or just some of the time?
Right, it's the balance, right?
Exactly.
Because sometimes you are going to have to miss an after-school program.
Right.
But then on that one where they're like, no, Mom, you really got to come to this one.
Exactly.
That's the balance that
and
we're
that's
learning.
where you weigh what matters most to me in this moment. So we have to decide. I had to decide going up that corporate ladder, the sacrifices I was willing to make. I did miss some events with my children.
Absolutely,
But
yeah.
I had the conversations with my children, with my family, saying, hey, this is what it's going to take for me to achieve it. Is everybody on board?
Right.
Am I on board? Am I going to deal with this uncontrollable or undeniable guilt that, oh, the world is coming to an end for me personally because I'm not there?
Got it. Biggest lesson you learned quickly, just about yourself in your personal journey that you hope women will be able to appreciate?
The biggest thing that I have learned is that I'm worth it. And we forget that. I forgot that I was worth it. That, you give so much to your job, your children, and everyone else, and you forget even how to dream again.
Right.
So
and
I
you
had
forget to
dream.
ask for what you are worth.
Yes.
That's good. We're going to pause right there. This is good conversation. It's about to get better. Because society says Gen Zennials are not loyal to their employers, but I'm going to introduce you to two young professionals who are here to set the record straight. After the break, to Corey and Claire weigh in about this new age workforce. They say they got a little, something we can learn from them as well. I believe it. Let's see what they have to say after the break. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank you for season 3 of Portia. It's because of loyal viewers like you that we keep getting to share this daily dose of positivity all across the country. So just a reminder, I still need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and tell your friends. You can catch us now in Orlando, in San Francisco, in Atlanta, and all across the country on Fox Soul. Tell your friends. We'll see you soon on Portia.